It's strange how time works. It stretches and bends, but it never forgets. John had loved her once. That was before the lies, before the way she'd smile when she promised him she was faithful, before the way she'd disappear at night, her scent still clinging to the sheets when she came back. She didn't even try to hide it in the end. There were men, there were excuses, and somewhere in the hollow places of his chest, John realized he'd never mattered. But he stayed. He stayed because that's what good husbands did. They endured. For 25 years he stood by her side, watching her smile, kissed her goodnight, pretending it didn't eat at him, that it didn't turn his stomach every time she called him honey. He did it because he couldn't let go. He never could. Then came the hospital. The diagnosis was sudden. Cancer, advanced. Her body, once full of fire and energy, slowly began to wither. The doctors told him to make a decision, to let her go or fight a losing battle. He didn't have to think. He asked to be alone with her. He sat next to her and held her hand and stared lovingly into her eyes. He pulled the plug, just like that. It was easy. There were no second thoughts, no hesitation. The machine blinked, hummed, and then nothing. John leaned over her bed, his face inches from hers. He could see it now, the fading spark of life in her eyes, flickering like a dying light. The breath she took was so fragile, so desperate, so betrayed. "Do you love me now?" he whispered. Her chest rose again, but her lips didn't move. He didn't wait for the answer. With every second that passed, her eyes grew wider, and John knew, this is it. He could feel it in his bones, that terrible cold certainty. She would suffocate in front of him. Her life would slip away in the same way her love for him had. And as her chest rattled and the oxygen vanished from her lungs, John felt a dark satisfaction, one that terrified him. He couldn't stop himself. He watched. Her eyes, those eyes, locked on his, and he held her gaze until the life left her. There was no peace, no comfort, just a suffocating emptiness, dying alone with the one who she thought forgave her, but hated her more than she knew. As her heart stilled, he stared into her face, and somewhere deep in his soul, John knew there was a place in hell with his name on it.